Greetings. How y'all doing? Another Mindful Mondays. Y'all, I'm excited again because I have Phoenix Rising. Can y'all hear me? Hey, Vance. Thank you for joining. We got to get Vance on the live, y'all. That man is a lot of pressure. Peace, peace, everyone. Greetings. Hey, greetings, Paper Doll. Blessings and love, always. All right, y'all can hear me. Cool. So much is going on in this space of like consumers and credit. Many of us have been getting wins. Many of us have been getting lessons, because it is a lot of trial and error because we've never really learned or were taught this. Until recent, Florida schools governor said, Ron DeSantis said that all high school students must take a financial literacy class. And it's like, why you didn't have this when I was in class, when I was in school? And it's like, now we have to go back to school in a sense to learn all of these things. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm going to get Phoenix Rising here. I just seen her pop up with baby. Let's see. Yeah, so now a lot of us are going back to school, y'all, to learn, like, honestly, what is credit? And it's like, it's beating us up because we're legit having to unlearn, and then relearn. And oftentimes, unlearn again and relearn. So, Phoenix Rising, Zaina B on.
Hey, you look amazing. Look at
Oh,
you.
all that glow over there for me.
Oh,
So
thank you.
shining.
Thank
I
you.
love
Thank you.
it.
You look amazing. It's so good to see you. Thank you for having me on. Hey, everybody.
You too. I mean, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for everything that you do, everything that you share, and sharing your experiences. Because not many people really share like the
Right.
not so great and then the great.
Because it gets real. And I wish I would have known some things that I knew now, that I know now, then, because it gets real. So, yeah, it's my duty to share every aspect of this walk, this journey, because it's not all roses. I'll be honest about that. But it is what it is. I feel like I've been called and I've been chosen to endure every little thing so I can share from a genuine space and assist genuinely. So,
Listen, because
uh,
it's not for you, it's not for you. So gotta hit
yes,
certain. I mean, like
yes.
honestly. All right, so guys, I have questions that I ask, but y'all just don't even know. Okay, like sometimes when
Yeah.
spirit just aligns, like distant relative spirits or something like that, like you know, you don't need
Mm,
questions or nothing. But what I say is, please have y'all notebooks and y'all pens, because this divine had the blessing of being able to
mm,
be behind the scenes with where meeting people who are in this consumer space, having the chance to build with a lot of these people who are teaching about
mm,
consumer trust, um,
mm.
our rights. So you don't know what may just come
Right.
about from this conversation.
And
So just
and
keep
that's what I love about just a divine connection, divine alignment. You just never know what spirit gonna come up and show out and do. So I'm excited.
and love everyone. So again, this is Mindful Mondays. I'm Asa Ali. This is the beautiful Phoenix Rising, or Zaina B. I
Hmm.
said it right?
Hmm.
Zaina
Thank you.
Ali. So we're gonna get started. Just tell a little bit. She does share about her life. She has shared. If you've been following her for a while, she has shared a few moments. About her life that many of us go through, and that's the beautiful thing, you know, like sometimes we feel like, oh my God, I'm dealing with so much. And it's like, you look besides you and someone else,
Right.
you know, not so good or something that you
Mhm.
might probably not even be able to handle. We shared a little bit about her life. We're going to ask her, you know, pretty much about her journey. And then we're going to go into a few gems, possibly. I don't know. You know, we got to see how baby feels and what she has coming up. Because I've taken her, oh my, her conditional acceptance class. Like, please gems in this if you've taken any of her conditional acceptance classes or if you even have the Phoenix Rising templates, which I have as well. So if you have any of these, please drop a gem in here. So so pretty much tell us a little bit about your background, like where you from, uh what were you doing. Thank you for supporting baby, because baby money, okay,
Right.
this.
Right. So basically, I'm formerly known as Dominique, but there's been a lot of transition in my life, beautiful transitions, and I had to really just go through some ego death. I really had to kill ego and just walk in my truth and walk in my passion. And with that came a name change. I accepted a new me. I'm still me, but as we elevate, that those old aspects of us, they have to go. And so I just really embraced, the nature of who I am. And I really, just decided to surrender, and in doing that, so many things began to fall away. And so I was working at Delta. I was a flight attendant for Delta. I had my dream job, y'all. Um, never thought I would leave, thought I was going to retire there, was really basing my whole life around Delta because that's something I really wanted. But when I made that decision to surrender, things started to fall away. So one of the things that fell away was Delta. I got fired. And it wasn't even something that I did. It was completely out of my control. There were so many, I had so much proof and evidence and even video footage of things that protected me. But, they were just like, this is just something that we can't rectify, because anytime you have in any type of association with anything that can ruin the reputation of the company, we don't want anything to do with it. But anyway, it had nothing to do with me. And so I sat on that for a minute because I'm like, why did that happen? Like, why in the world did that happen if I had proof and evidence and everything? I had even big time, people literally willing to represent me. They're like, no, we're going to fight this. I was like, I don't know if we should. I don't know. Because if Delta's willing to, take all of this evidence and still, not work things out in my favor, I don't know if this is for me. So with that being said, I lost my job and I didn't have any work. So I wanted to start a business. So I, started looking into starting a business, really just focusing on holistic living, veganism, all of that. But I ran out of money and my credit score was trash. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? I maxed out my credit cards, um, everything. And I'm being really transparent. I had to ask my sister for money. She gave me a couple grand to get me through, and she supported my business. And so I'm like, okay, but I need to figure out something. And I couldn't get anything because my cards were maxed out. I had student loan debt, like a whole bunch of different things that were preventing me from being able to acquire things that I needed. So I needed to focus on my credit. And a couple of months passed by. I still was like, all right, I need to still focus on credit. So in July, I'm like, enough is enough. I am out of money. I need to be able to position myself to do some things that I want to do. I need to start with my credit. So I ended up following the Bureau bullies. And I never looked back, y'all. Yes, I started following the Bureau bullies in July and I never looked back. And I kind of feel like crying right now. Like, I have chill bumps and everything, but that was the beginning for me. And it changed my life. And what I was learning, I'm like, this is too good to be true. Like you, I hear what you're saying, but it has to be something else to it. And it wasn't. I just needed to apply, continue to study, and that's what I did. And I started working at this other place, downtown Buckhead, just making ends meet, paying my sister back. And I found out that I was pregnant. So I was like, oh my God, like, what is happening to my life? So I started working at this place, making really good money, making like $1,100 a day. It was nice. But when I found this information that the Bureau bullies introduced me to, I was like, I gotta let this job go. Like, I need to study because the hours I could either work day shift or night shift. And night shift, I would get home at like 1 a.m. And then, of course, by the time I shower, wind down, I don't have time to study. It's late. So I basically was like, all right, I'm going to let my job know that I was exposed to COVID. I may or may not have COVID, but I was exposed. So I wrote them a letter and I was like, I think I might have been exposed to COVID. So they gave me 2 weeks off. I never went back. And I just studied for those 2 weeks. I ended up connecting with Credit Fixer. And well, a little bit before that, I connected with Credit Fixer. And then we, had a sit down, had a meeting and talked about some things. And I was like, yeah, we're on the same path. We believe in the same vision. So I'm just going to kind of rock it out. And I'm just going to learn. So, some of my very first remedy um, was removing my student loans from my credit report. I removed it, but they weren't discharged. But my first discharge remedy was my auto loan. And I was like, oh my God, like, how does this happen? So I followed the Bureau Bully way and I was able to discharge my auto loan. And then fast forward until where we are now, I'm still discharging. Well, I have nothing else to discharge. Everything is gone. And it's like not really a good thing because now my credit went from a 724 to a 640 because I don't have credit history. I have no account history. So now I'm looking crazy because I'm trying to, I don't know, get some loans or something for whatever. I just renovated my bathroom. I could have put that on a credit card, but I paid cash. But still, like, nobody would approve me because they're like, you don't even have credit. You don't have account history. So, I did some things, the way that I learned to do it. But now that I'm on the other side, there's some things I would do different. So, that's pretty much like in a nutshell, my journey, how I got to where I am today. And basically, like, I really want, if you don't take anything away from what I'm saying, I just want you to really trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust this process. Seriously. Don't doubt yourself. Don't bite off more than you can chew, but trust it. It really, really, really is an amazing experience. And I stand before you right now with no debt. I had student loans, I had auto loans, I had an American Express, I had Discover. You know what I mean? I had all these bills costing me about $3,000 a month, and I don't. I have no bills as we speak, nothing. All I have is whatever my daughter wants to do, and gas, of course, for my car. But other than that, it's possible. And I know for a fact, like I said, that I went through it so I can share it with you. Because, I don't want anything in return. All I want is for us to be free. And I call myself a freedom fighter because that's what I am. And I'm going to fight for freedom and I'm going to go to war with you. And we're going to literally combat these companies until we get what it is that we deserve. Point blank, period. And I'm not taking no for an answer. So, I hope you find some encouragement in that. And there's multiple ways to skin a cat. So like I said, I started with the Bureau bullies, but I kept learning different processes. I kept learning so many different things and they work. You know what I mean? You just have to know what you're doing. And when you know what you're doing, you confident, there's nothing else to talk about.
So that's the thing that people do not tell you. Like, okay, credit fixing, part of credit fixing or credit repair. Because in reality, we're not fixing it. Like, that's a whole nother story. But regardless, honest truth, we can't be around the bush. We're not fixing anything, because in reality, it's not broken. You cannot break what, you did not give or whatnot. But at the same time, that literacy, having that financial literacy is is a big key factor in what we do. And we don't realize how much not having or having financial literacy can, take us to a higher level, or in fact bring us down many levels. So a part of that, you said that, you now have no credit history, which that of the whole, like,
Right.
their system, like, credit is history. you know you can, a lot of people's credit history, really their longest history is student loans, because we got that when we were 17, 18, 19, and we're now in our 30s, many of us are late 20s, so that's probably the
Mm-hmm.
longest one, 8 years plus, history. But then learning what we learning is like, okay, you have to say to yourself, well,
Right.
what do I want? Do I want to be able to start from scratch? Like, have you seen those memes that are like, okay, would you rather give up this, or you
Right.
rather give up that? So it's like, do you rather that, or do you, which is your history, or do you want to keep your history, but you got to keep the debt? Like,
Mm.
the history and the debt goes with it. So you have those options. Like, okay, what do you want? Do you want to keep it, or do you want to, in a sense, restart? I don't even want to say lose it, but fresh start,
Right.
fresh playing all over. So that's the part that a lot of us, they don't tell us. Like, okay, yeah, you're gonna remove all of this. You're gonna be looking in the 600s,
Mm-hmm.
very irresponsible-ish. You So it's like, but that you are a business, and you must carry yourself as a business, and something that businesses need and businesses operate and function, now
Mm.
knowing what we know, is credit. You know, the
Yeah.
people's money, or
Yep.
so
It's
they
all
say.
credit. It's all credit. And I went into a dealership the other day, which I still came out on top. Like, I got what it is that I wanted. But I had to jump through hoops. I had to jump through hoops because of my credit. And I mean, I'm willing to do that because I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I just didn't have the energy. I didn't have the energy for them to continuously challenge me. And I didn't have the energy for the general manager and the finance. I didn't have the energy to do all of that, which I did it, and I was able to get a car. But at the end of the day, it was like, damn, like, if I just had a decent score, like, and I had some credit history, I would be fine, because I could have, like, gone like a financing route. But because what you want to do whenever you are, I don't know if you guys know about, yeah.
About that experience, because many of us want to go through it, but we are,
Yeah.
in a sense, afraid, because you've probably
Mm.
been denied, and we don't like that feeling. A lot of that feeling, and then a lot of us at the same time will see all these
Right.
people's success, but really don't know the backstory as to how did those people get success. Like, they didn't
Right.
know
It's
that
a
they had to
fight.
still put up
It
a fight.
literally is a fight. So for me, I went in with a different approach from the jump. And they kind of was looking at me like I was trying to commit fraud or something. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. So I actually made arrangements to speak to the general manager and the finance manager. And we, that worked out or whatever. They actually, they called another finance manager from another branch in North Carolina, and they were familiar with the 1099. They were familiar with the process that I originally presented to them. They knew about it. They were like, you know what, we do this, but we only do this process with brand new manufactured vehicles. So you pretty much have to build a car. And so, me, this is time sensitive. I need a mommy car. So I'm like, well, what can I do right now to get a vehicle? And, the process could have been done, but I would still have to wait. Like, I would have to wait 60 to 90 days, which I'm willing to do that. That's fine. And so we made arrangements to, work something out with, that process. That I'm not going to speak on that for that one, but I'll talk on the credit part. But then, I was like, dang, I kind of need a car now, because the car that I was driving primarily was just a two-door. And with the baby, I just didn't know how that would, the car seat and stuff. So I'm like, let me get this car, because I don't know when this baby is coming. So Um, so then I got them to enter into fiduciary duties with me, like their responsibility. And that was because they accepted my application. So I put in an application, and when you put in an application and you put your social and you sign, and they accept it, they are now accepting fiduciary responsibilities. So anything that you need, anything that needs to be done, they need to comply and make sure that they are working in your highest and best interest. And so, I presented that to them. They were like, all right, cool. The sales agent that I was working with knew nothing about truth in lending, knew nothing about fiduciary responsibilities, knew nothing about anything that I was saying. And so I don't know what the salesman said to the finance manager, but they kind of came at me like, don't do business with her, like something crazy like that. Um, so that's when I had to speak to a general manager. I had to call the district manager, the regional manager, and let them know, like, this is law. Yo, I went in there with a folder. I went 3 days in a row. I went in there with a folder with all the laws. Everything was highlighted. And I was like, no, this is law. And if you guys are not going to comply, this is a major lawsuit. I just want you to know. And if you didn't want this problem, you should have never accepted my application, because by law, by federal law, you're obligated at this point. And then I had inquiries, from when they ran my credit. So that was a totally different conversation. But anyway, I was getting denied financing because of insufficient credit history. So I'm like, what is that? And that's what made me sit down and say, well, damn. Like, I wouldn't even have to go through all of this if I had some damn credit history. Like, I done went and deleted all this stuff when in truth I could have just asked them to, update the payment history to pay them full, kept the accounts. But anyway, got through all of that. By the third day, I had my folder, I was talking to everyone, and then I got financing. But then they wanted to argue about the down payment. So that was a whole nother conversation. And I ended up having to talk to the underwriter of the financing company, and that they would not talk to me at first. They only said they would talk to the car dealership. They would not talk directly to me. So I'm like, if you're like, that don't make sense. And I was like, I'm not leaving until I speak to someone that can assist me in this process. So I ended up talking to the underwriter and let her know down payment is not a requirement. So stop telling me that it's a requirement. I was nice. I wasn't talking to them like this, but I was like, it's not a requirement. And then I just asked if we could pull up a couple of statutes together, and if they would mind if I emailed them X, Y, and Z. Of course, keeping a paper trail for myself, because they need to know, like, I'm coming correct. I know the law. So the following day, I got a call from the underwriter basically saying, all right, we're going to work with you, but we need to see some bank statements. Okay. I mean, you need to see bank statements for what? And so they just wanted to make sure that I could pay back the loan. So what I did is I actually just wrote a letter, and I said that I can pay the loan back. Like, I didn't give them bank statements. I just wrote a letter, got it notarized, basically saying I can pay back the loan. And I wrote a letter that said, I have a business and that I'm self-employed. Got it notarized. I had 2 witnesses sign. I got a car. But it took me a long time. So no down payment. It ended up being like a finance contract. But of course, there was no cooling off period. I mean, there was no right to rescind, like, violations. And I had to go ahead and take care of that within 72 hours. But it was just too much to get a car because of my credit history. Like, it was so much. And having to talk to an underwriter when the finance manager and the regional manager at this particular dealership are in the building, and they're not, advocating for me. They're not advocating, saying that I don't have to pay a down payment. Like, y'all are all like, what is happening? And so the down payment was crazy too. It was like $5,000 or something. I'm not doing that.
So listen, because y'all taking notes. I hope y'all taking notes, because sometimes IG is a hater. They want to do. So aside from that, I just want y'all to kind of like do a little recap on everything that she said. For the most part, to me, what I got from that, again, everybody, has their own perspective or can take this in however they want. But for me, it's mostly like you're going to have to speak to the upper levels, because you have to realize you're an upper level. You're no longer, in this certain position where you're a minor to where you do not know any better, or you do not know who you are and who they are and what they are supposed, no, not even supposed to, what they are going to do, what they have to do, and what you have to do, and what roles to play. So from what I'm taking with this is, of course, everybody's fight is going to be a bit different, and it obviously depends on how you want to go, which route you want to go, because there's many routes to go ahead and acquire something. But if you are taking a route like this, you do have to have your ducks in order to where that you're going into the court in a sense. That you have to have your rebuttals. You have to, if you want to play this game. Now, if you want to play the game, then just let them, hey, it's their ball, it's their house, team always has an advantage. But when you're playing in someone else's court, in someone else's home, they have their rules and they have their standards and their systems. So it's like you have to know your opponent. You have to know, okay, what are they going to supposedly, what all do they require? Then the next, what can I stand on for their so-called requirements, which we all should know what a requirement is, and it's in a sense it's an option. So we have to have our own, in a sense, playbook as to, okay, I'm going to this, like you can name that play, Mercedes dealer, that's home, that's who I'm playing, that's my rival right now, that's who, and it's either you're going to have to from the get-go ask to speak to a manager, or ask to speak to finance manager, or a general speak, or whether you're going to send a letter and let them know, or whether you're going to go another route. Whichever route, you still can't just go blindsided, or just, oh, let me just throw something and see what works. No, you have to go in with some form of plan. And now if it works, well, what's my plan B? Because I know this is a case if y'all want to go that way and if y'all want to go that route. But you have to kind of let them dig a hole for themselves. Have your track of things. You ask for copies of everything, and you have to know, okay, well, if they said this is what I'm going to show them, and this is what's going to happen. You have to stand firm. Whether it's not even about arguing, it's about, okay, well, this is what I'm standing on. This is what I'm doing. Because at the end of the day, they're still a private business, but at the same time, are they regulated by somebody? Even if they're a private business, they're regulated by somebody. Because just because I call myself a doctor doesn't mean I'm gonna just go and be I'm a private doctor. But you're not gonna want to come to me if I don't have any forms of certifications, not certain forms of whatever it may be. That's the same thing with the dealer. 9 times out of 10, you don't even possibly want to go to a moms and pops if they don't have their things in order. I know when other dealerships, they kind of know the game. They know, not the lower level. Let me rephrase that. Not the lower level, not the, 9 to 5 retail employees, more so corporate, in vision.
And they would not, I was getting them, I wanted a written statement. They would not admit. I was like, so just tell me that in this moment you are breaching your fiduciary responsibilities. You've accepted my application, which we all know the application is the asset, and you're refusing. And they would not say that, like they wouldn't admit to it, and they wouldn't write it, like they wouldn't admit to it at all. So, it was, like you said, just knowing that you're building a case. And so I wanted to have that on recording. I wanted to have the general manager say on recording that we are voluntarily breaching our fiduciary duties, and they would not say it. But it was a fight. I had success with 2 dealerships, and I ended up getting something from the place that I really wanted. But a majority of the dealerships that I went to just to play, nobody knew. And so you have to come in like a boss, because one of my affirmations is I'm a motherfucking boss, period. And I say it every day. I look in the mirror and I tell myself, I'm a motherfucking boss. And that's what I'm going to act like when I am in commerce. Because when you're looking at the statue, or you're looking at a hierarchy, when you're looking at the totem pole, we at the top, you have God and you have us. And then you have the corporations. So remember where you stand. Remember that you are above the corporations, and they can fuck with you if they want to, but you always are going to win if you come correct. But you have to be spiritually aligned. You got to know that God is within you. You are a reflection. I was listening to some affirmations earlier today, and one of the affirmations said, oh, it was a Kanye West song. And he said, I'm made in the image of God. That's my selfie. And I was like, let me run that back. I like that. And he said, I'm made in the image of God. That's my selfie. And so when we're out here, doing whatever we do, God first, we got to be God-like. So when we walking into these businesses, you coming in God-like. Like you already coming in knowing I'm the shit. So what are we talking about? But it's just a matter of trusting yourself, trusting that you are guided by the Most High. The Most High is in your blood. It dwells within you. You have the power, and nobody can mess with that. When you operate in that type of power, nobody can rebut that. So, I said I had success at two places. I got the car that I really wanted, but it was so much. But I could have easily been intimidated by the salesman. He did not know what he was talking about. And for him to tell him not to do business with me, oh, you really want to play.
That's the scripture.
And that's not what we're going to do. So, know who you are, walk in that power, own that power, y'all, and just do your thing. And then I'll say this too, like, with other remedies, today, I talked to a woman that I've been working with for 5 months. She wanted to get a house, and she got pre-approved today. I know.
Ooh.
And her daughter, like the most exciting part about this whole experience for her is her daughter gets to have her own room. And that just really hit home for me today. I sat down and I was just grateful, just grateful that I'm positioned to help, like give a little baby, help a daughter get her first room. Like that's major. So I've been working with her for 5 months, and we finally are at a space where these things are falling off. So I'm going to say that to say, my process might have been 15 days. Yours might be 5 months. But don't forget your power. If it takes 7 months, take them 7 months and remember who you are during the whole time. Just because you're not getting remedy right away, it's okay. You still powerful. You still a guy. You still a goddess. Yes.
Learn from it. If you remedy, what did you learn from it? Because that's even like when we get ill, it's sometimes we'll have to stop consuming or stop doing something, in order to go, okay, that was okay, so I was doing that wrong. Don't get me wrong, we'll kind of go back to eating the same, foolishness, or drinking the same foolishness, or pick habits. For the most part, damn well, okay, well, shoot, if they told me this and that, okay, well, what do I have to do? What is my comeback? What is my game plan to face another? Because just because one said no and you feel defeated and you don't want to go with the back and forth, you have to know, listen, if I want to play this game, if I want to be this person, if I don't want to, or I'm sorry, not person, but man or woman, if I want to be this man, or I call myself self-made, or whatever the case is, that comes with pressure. That comes with pressure. And it's like, if you're not really up for it, you're either going to just give up and continue to play the game that they want you to play, or you're just going to try another dealer, or you're going to come back and you're going to be well prepared.
Yep, it's all a part of the plan. It's all a part of the journey. So, I mean, it's all a learning experience, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun if you look at it from a bird's eye view. If you just take yourself out of what it feels like in the moment and look at it from a bird's eye view and look at what's happening and know that you're above, it's actually fun. It's fun, to move in and out to send these letters to see what they're gonna respond. Like when you know, you know. And so it becomes entertaining, to say the least. Well, for me, it's kind of entertaining, but because I know I'm gonna always win. Like it's just nothing, no questions asked.
And that's that energy, whether you haven't been getting a certain remedy that you're looking for or whatever it is, then it's just more so of like you have to go back to the drawing board and figure out what is it that you're missing. And oftentimes, many people don't speak about having to take it to
Mm,
the actual courts, you know, in a sense, bring it back home, bring that game that you tried to play at someone
yeah,
else's house. Now you have to come and create, in a sense,
right.
um, playing field. And that's what people don't really speak on, as far as like, okay, you do have to not only speak about these laws, about these violations, but now, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they have injured you. So what are you going to do if someone injures you? What are your options? And there's
Mm-hmm. True.
honestly.
True, true. And I'm happy that you brought that up because, I don't play about my life or my family and my friends' life. So when you're dealing with injuries and things of that nature, someone needs to have consequences. Because I used this example before, like if someone comes into your house and robs you or steals your car, you just gonna let that slide too? You know what I mean? You just gonna let people run up and take all your stuff or take your cards and go swipe your cards overseas and take your money? You gonna just let that slide? It's no different. It's similar. So when someone injures you, there needs to be consequences. So even in
Um, my apologies. Vision Customs. You keep asking who is Asa Ali, but I mean Asa Ali has been here talking for the longest year on my live. So hi, greetings, peace and love. My live and
Yes,
continue,
and
Queen.
speaking on
Continue.
you, since you want to know who she is, she's super, super, super dope. Let me tell you, this woman right here is a mastermind, and I had no idea that our connection would be what it is, but she has supported me in some areas that I didn't even want to speak on, and I'm just grateful because she helped me to get through a tough situation that I didn't want to share. Just some things. She just helped me on so many different areas, and my family too. But she's a mastermind. And if anybody out there has some plans or some dreams or some goals that you're sitting on and you don't know what the next best step is, you got to call her. You got to book a consultation with her. I was actually talking about you earlier today with my sister. My sister was like, dang, I wish I can just go to her house and just chill and just talk to her all day, eat cereal, because I just need to be around her, because just that energy that you bring and the fire that you put underneath me, I'm gonna speak for myself, to really just walk in my truth, not to dim my light and to speak my truth. I want to thank you for that because you did.
Oh, no,
Yeah, you did that.
I'm just reflection, and I do give thanks because I've legit seen you grow in a matter of months, like months. And that's what knowledge is supposed to do. You cannot continue to stay stagnant or in the same space. And I'm not just
Right.
speaking of physically, I'm speaking of when you start to apply this knowledge, it hits you on so many levels. It's more than
Yes.
the house, the car, you know, designer
Yes.
bags or the trips. Like knowledge itself is going to, especially this knowledge, is going to bring you a whole different mindset. That mind itself is just infinite. And I always infinite beings, but we have been conditioned into boxing or limiting ourselves or allowing others to create limits and boundaries for our mind and our growth. And it's like when you start to learn these laws and you're applying them, whether you're getting wins, whether you're getting lessons, that's only just helping you
Mhm.
evolve even more, because you're being tested. It's like, how bad do you really want it? Do you really want to be free? Do you really
Right.
be free, or you deserve to be on
Right.
what you've been on?
Right.
You know,
That's what it's about, true freedom. And you support that within me. I'm so grateful. And I just love the way that you think, and just the way that your energy aligns with everything. That's true. That's true, because your body knows when something is true and when it's not. But speaking on like being just kind of mentally in a space where you are allowing yourself to conform, one of the affirmations that I speak as well is unlearning is easy, relearning is easy. Because what's happening is there's so much conditioning that has been happening, and then we're presented with all these external materialistic things, and we think, oh, this is true life, this is freedom, oh, this is the way things are supposed to be, when in truth, like, no, it's not. It's not at all. And so unlearning to relearn is the most difficult. I'm not saying it's hard, but that's the most difficult, the most important. I'm gonna say that. I'm not even gonna use the word difficult because it's easy for us. That's the most important step in this whole process, in this journey. Unlearning to relearn. Get that shit out your head. Relearn, reprogram your mind. That's what you got to do. Reprogram your mind. And when these debt collectors are trying to use this verbiage, trying to scare you, reprogram your mind. They can't touch you. This is a paper. Stop acting like you're afraid of a piece of paper. Respond. It's paper, and
Hey, that she did when they asked her for a bank statement. Y'all didn't hear that, huh? Y'all didn't catch what she did to that paper and that pen. Like I was, associated with the group before, and they used to use this thing called the pen is mightier than the sword. And it's like she legit went and did that. Like she proved that their words was beneath,
right.
what her sword can do. And she came with her sword to that battlefield. Even though maybe like she was saying, or we were saying, even if there's something that tries to stop you, okay, well,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a way around it. Didn't know what she did when they bank statement. She created a letter. Okay, baby, created a letter and stated whatever, because the statement.
Right.
Okay, you want a bank statement? I am
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm the bank.
Come on now.
So number one. Then number two, you want a statement from the bank?
You preaching.
Okay,
Yes.
I got you. And then you have to have some witnesses, just like in a birth, in a creation of credit, you have witnesses to that creation of credit. So to that bank statement, she
Uh-huh.
added two witnesses, a notary, present,
Uh-huh.
notary, just a regular. That's what she did. So when she just said it's just a piece of paper, okay, well, instrument.
Right.
That was her instrument. That's what she went. Wanted a bank statement? I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you a bank statement.
Oh, yes. That was a gem right there. I hope y'all wrote that down. Yes, that's a whole yeah, that's something you can take with you and really honor that. And back to everything is contract law, and we are governed because we're alive. We're governed by common law, and we're governed by natural law because we're natural beings. Those corporations can only communicate with you via paper because they're not alive, so they have to have some type of communication to you. And I use this example. I don't know who I was talking to, but I was basically saying, if I'm asleep and a ghost comes and gives me a message or whatever, and the ghost is talking to me, and then the next day I tell my sister, I got a message from a ghost, she gonna be like, okay, all right, cool. But if that ghost came while I was sleeping and wrote me a letter, and then I can show my sister, like, look, the ghost wrote me a letter. I have proof that the ghost is communicating with me via this letter, and now I can leverage this letter and what they said. So the corpse are the same way. The corpse cannot communicate with you. There's no one representing them. They don't have a physical body to relay a message. So the physical message, way to relay a message is the paper. So now I can show you, I have proof that a corpse is talking to me. How am I going to respond to the corpse? And so it's you got to write it, because that's the evidence. You won't believe me if I say a ghost visited me and told me this and that. You're like, okay, did you record it? Do you have evidence. So the paper is the evidence that you're communicating with corpse, but we're alive. So it's like, just remembering that we're just talking to, like, the paper is a communication, and it's a language. It's just our own little language to communicate with the corpse. And that's okay. Because that's what we got to do. So when you're getting, these messages in the mail or these offers from these corps, it's just a means of communication. How you gonna respond? What you gonna do? Because you have the authority. So what are you gonna do? I'm not about to fear a piece of paper. That's not what I'm doing. You want a statement from me, and I'm sitting here talking to you, that's fine. I'll communicate with your corpse. Let me put something on paper, because that's the only way I can communicate with you guys, because I'm above you and this is our only language. And speaking of language, it's so low vibrational. Like, language is so low vibrational. All these different words have different meanings. If you don't really truly um dissect each word individually, you get yourself and put yourself in a bind too, because this language, like, understand in the language of legalese means I'm giving you authority over me. So if I say, do you understand me, and you say, yeah, your yes is officially giving me authority over you. Now I can tell you what to do. I control you. So even realizing, like, what we're saying is low vibrational, and things have just kind of been, misconstrued to mean one thing when they really mean another. So Black Law's Dictionary is my best friend. And I was carrying that the physical copy of the dictionary everywhere I went, but it started killing my back. So I now have the electronic version of it, which I prefer to have the physical copy. But I have that book. Ask anybody around me. Like, I have that dictionary with me anywhere I go. And if there's something that is said, I will pull out my dictionary, and we're gonna dissect what this word means via Black Law's Dictionary. And so, if you don't have Black Law's Dictionary, get it. Get it. And when you're getting stuff in the mail, make sure you realize, what these words mean, because one word is a complete sentence. And you can get jammed. You can get jammed up. Even, like, verbal calls. I don't mind talking on the phone to whoever, because I know what I'm saying. But if you're not really confident, like, just communicate with paper, because you can easily be recorded saying something that will legally bind you into another contract, and you don't even realize that it happened until you get something else and you're like, wait, what? Then they have it on recording, you agreed, and all this stuff. So, Black Law's Dictionary is great. Um, yeah, I love the dictionary. I have the fifth edition, I believe.
Someone recently, so at first I was like so hesitant about all these groups, but a lot of these groups, really, people are helping each other, and I go to war when I see her templates going, around and stuff. But it is what it is. But anywho, I do, give thanks for those who are helping genuinely, not as of, okay, um, just trying to get known, clout. Because a lot of people, it's not even money as much as it's about the clout, that may come with it. So I do give thanks for those who are out here on some genuine, energy. And they were either once in the same position, being denied, not knowing who they are, to where it's like now they're like, okay, well, listen, this is what you have, this is what you got to do. Like, you have to do this. So even when I was listening
Mhm.
to Queen Dawn, her, and like, I was like, wow, because now she made me look at things a lot different. Sometimes you have to hear it from other people, or sometimes you have to hear it a few times for it to finally, go through your hard head. Like, oh,
Right.
wow, okay, hey, because like, even what you said as far as, like, what you did when they requested a bank statement, and I know I'm still stuck on it because I'm just
Mhm.
like, dang. But that was with, Dawn, how she was saying, like, if they're not giving you your remedy, if they're not giving you what you're requesting, that is by law, and they're disregarding law, and making you feel less than, or or you don't have these rights, or you don't deserve these rights, or these rights do not apply to you, because you got to think about it. If they made these laws, it was for a reason, because they're also, since we
Mm-hmm.
switch hats many times, they hats many times and switch roles, and they do also want nice cars, and they do also want nice cars. So they had to come and put these laws, because these corporations were abusing their power, which we know how it goes. You get a little power, you go Fidel or something like, you say one thing and you do another, or whatever it may be. So with that being said, when I listen to Dawn, mind you, I haven't been on this whole consumer journey. I've been always on the whole business side of things, but then it's just like, wow, learning the consumer laws is great. But at the same time, it can be discouraging. I'm gonna be 100 with you. It can be a bit discouraging when you're not getting your remedies, and you're like, well, damn, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm using these templates, and I'm like, oh, I'm using these templates.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not creating your own? Why are you not your
Mm-hmm.
situation? Laws, so yeah, you can reference the laws in these templates, but make sure they come from your temple, your templates come from your temple. So with that being said, once the main things is knowing who you are, knowing who they are, knowing their role, knowing your role, and knowing what happens if it doesn't come about, or if you don't go into that contract in the proper way. Because that's another issue that many of us are having from the get-go, is we're not entering these so-called agreements, contracts, instruments, whatever you want to call them, in the proper status or proper manner. So we have to deal with it at the end of the day. But it's like, as long as you know the laws and you know who you are, and all this is cool, then you can, you still play the game somewhat. But the main thing is just realizing, like, they hold no power. She even said it right now. She even said it just recently on this live. They hold no power. All their power
Mm-hmm.
is based on paper. That is
Mm-hmm.
the truth. You're real. You're living. Okay, listen, I know who I am. It's like, and even if it's like you have to speak to these people in a certain way, you have to go ahead and do because now they'll know, oh, this isn't no generic. No, she's really, yeah, this is. And it's not so much about being emotional, because you got to be very strategic, and it comes through. But anywho, you have to be strategic with everything you do, because now it's like, okay, you take the emotion
That.
side out of it. This is business. This is
Yep.
business. Not doing no Will Smith and Chris Rock, little play stuff, because we're
Mm-hmm.
not playing. This is our livelihood, So you have to start to realize, like, yes, it's okay to have templates. Yes, it's okay to see these templates, but use it as a sample,
Mm-hmm.
as an example, your situation, because maybe that a template has something to do with what you're speaking on, but yet and still, it's not your actual situation, or you're not dealing with that same exact corporation, or you're not in that
Mm-hmm.
state.
I'm so glad you spoke on that, because I do have those templates, and the templates are literally every single process that I use. I kept copies for myself, and I told myself that if I get remedy from actually sending off these letters, I'm going to share, just to provide some structure of flow, just to give you an idea on like how to even like generate a letter. So yeah, I always say add your own sauce, sauce it up. Here's the meat, add your sauce, add your flavor. And the templates are every single template that I've ever used. I will not talk about something I haven't done. I will not share a template that I have not used. I'm not going to, because I don't want you coming at me saying, oh, I got arrested or something like that. I'm not going to share anything I have no experience with. I just won't do it. And so the templates, all the videos that are in the templates, I studied them. Those videos gave me clarity in one area or another. It may not mean anything to you, but I'm still sharing with you everything that resonated with me at some point in my journey. And so you'll find, videos from the Bureau bullies, from, I don't even know the dates, but I added that because at some point in my journey, something in that video resonated with me. So everything that I share in the templates, including the videos and the reading material, it sat with me at some point. And then the templates, like I said, I have mailed out personally every template in that template packet. And, you know, you spoke on something too, Queen, how people are just reselling and just taking this knowledge for clout. You know, those people are not going to get remedy. I don't care what anyone says, because you're not moving in good faith. And, you know, when your intentions are nasty and you just want to get money from people, you know, what's for you is going to come for you. So I personally don't do anything for money. Like I don't. My classes are $69 because I have to pay for an academy. It's an actual school, and I pay for a subscription for that academy to use it each month to support the students and to be able to utilize the features. So basically, you know, that's what that covers. And then the templates are actually owned by my daughter's trust. So I have a trust, the Phoenix Rising Irrevocable Trust, and I wanted to do something for her. So the templates, she's the creator of the templates, and it's owned by her trust. So even with that, people are just taking everything thinking they can just, resell something that doesn't belong to them. And it's all about clout. And that's not what it's about, guys. We got to move in good faith. And like the mission is freedom. Like we're supposed to get free. I'm not about to sit here and of course, like I'm here for your time. Your time is invaluable. You cannot put a price tag on your time at all. Even the time that I spent with Queen Ali, for that duration where I really needed some guidance, her time, like what I got from her, there's nothing in the world that I could have used to repay her for what she shared with me, and just the support. There's nothing. If I had $300 million, that still does not even it doesn't even complement what I got from her. So invaluable.
That's it doesn't matter. Triple what?
Oh, I'm grateful, super grateful. The templates they're like my journal. And I do have some other templates that are done because, I know that there are letters that you get back that are like, we're not going to take your instrument. And so, of course, I've been there, done that. I just paid off a loan with a negotiable instrument, but I wasn't able to share that process until I completed it myself. So I just paid off a loan with a negotiable instrument on February the 3rd. I can share that now. So I can show you what I got. I can show you how they played me. I can show you how they kept sending me statements saying we're not accepting your written instructions. I can show you all of that. And I can show you what I said back and what I did. And then I can show you how I sued Capital One. But I can't share these things until I walked it myself. Not knocking anyone else that can take the knowledge and share it. But I personally need to do it first so I can be very precise and I can share with you experience. So most people that have talked to me and you ask me a question, if I haven't experienced it, my answer is from interpretation, X, Y, and Z, but from experience, X, Y, and Z. Like I always separate the two. So, it's about freedom, getting free. All of our family, us, our generations from now, freedom. They abolished slavery in whatever year that was. And I mean, I should know that, but I don't. But we're still in slavery. So all this debt, all these like different corporations that just play on us, the institutions, the schools, it's all a part of still keeping us enslaved. So when we gonna put our foot down and say enough is enough? So unity, I believe in unity. I believe in uniting. And I just really, so where I was going with this, I'm not going to share everything like I did before with the templates because I just didn't like the way that I saw it being resold. Like I saw it being resold for $600, $400, $500. I just recently saw that it's being resold for $149. I just can't support that, not because I just can't support it. And so I see what's happening. So moving forward, I'm just going to have like very small, intimate groups, and there's going to be interviews, like one one call, an interview. We're going to talk about your situation. And I'm only helping 20 people, 30 people at a time because that's what my energy can allow. And it's just going to be us. We're going to rock it out. Like, it's going to be me, you, the 24 other people, and that's it. So, and that's just what I'm willing to do. So what I'm talking about, these processes, I'm going to give you, my experience, and then I'm going to share with you what I did, and I'm going to support you throughout your journey and your process. Of course, add your sauce. Go ahead and tailor it, make it spicy, make it taste good, and I'm going to support you. But, moving forward, because I saw someone ask, can I share? And some things like that. I'm going to keep the templates that are out, but I'm not comfortable just sharing, my personal journey, and people are taking advantage of it and, just using it for ill intentions. So again, to be real intimate moving forward, you'll get notifications about some things. My daughter is still baking. Obviously, I have not went into labor. She's supposed to be here by now. She's just chilling. So I'm not making any huge decisions or calendars until she's here. And then we'll go from there. But
I have some strategies that we could
okay,
I'm gonna share with you. So then which route you want to go ahead and
okay,
take. There's so many. Now that you've said that there's that you can take, you know,
mm,
um and that's the beautiful part about is that even we do have to do certain things to protect our brand, protect um what we stand for, who we are, and things like that, because people will take advantage, even though your templates were, mind you, it was a whole book, y'all, a notebook. Like, you guys print out and it's gonna look like a whole notebook. And it's just pretty much like she was saying, like her experiences, to where she turned that into a book for us to use as as an example. But many instead just took it and copied it word for word, and it's just like, nah, that's not going to work. You will learn how to get around that or whatever it is. And then it's just like her templates were so inexpensive, for all the information that you were getting. Because it's like with these templates, what a lot of us need to realize is that, mind you, I include myself because I'm still learning this consumer side. Like, I was on some, I got money, I don't care, I could buy it, whatever, but then it's just like, hold on, that's so stupid. So then obviously, so I'm still learning a lot of these things. And then trust me, because y'all think that these people that have a bunch of money have the greatest credit. Nope, not at all. Not. So, but the thing is that they don't have is that real freedom, because they're always depending on the next dollar, or making sure that the dollar is coming in. Unlike with knowledge, that's that real freedom, because now it's just like, okay, you have the knowledge, you got freedom over here, and then you obtain some more knowledge. It's like, dang, so I got freedom on top of freedom, as you're increasing your knowledge. But the thing with the templates, it's not a bad thing. It's just we need to really just sit down and read the
yeah,
the codes, codes, read the language, read the words, really sit down, write a whole little thing of definition. That's how you really get to study, because many of us want these overnight instant
yeah,
remedies. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes we can get it. Cool, cool, but for the most part, for you to be able to and redo what you did without having to use someone's template, now that's really, you have to take yourself back to school. You have to put yourself back into school without having to worry about FAFSA, because all the information for the most part online. So now it's like, okay, when we get these templates or we see people dropping certain gems, even like Competent Minds always dropping gems. Dawn, she'll drop certain things. There's a few different people, even Electus, it's many people on here that will drop gems. And it's more so like, okay, don't just take that, actually go
mm,
ahead and dissect it, learn it in and out. Because now it's like the conversations that you'll have when you go and do these contracts, or when you go to sign, you're not signing in the incorrect way, or you're not saying certain words or agreeing to certain things that's going to put you in a certain contract. And for the most part, many of us are dealing with the same things, like trying to get a car, trying to get a
Right.
house, don't want to rent, have we all have been through it or all are going through it. So yeah, one of the most important things is to take care of what we need to take care of now. Not okay, I don't deal with child
Right.
support, but I'm learning about child support.
Right.
What else did you take care of learning how to, take care without, you know, you know what a bill is? So it's like, yeah, we have to go back to the drawing board many times, when a certain things come about or you do not get your remedy or even get your remedy. Study that too and be like, okay, I see why
Mhm.
I got my remedy. Like I could go and regurgitate somebody and they're gonna get the same result because it's more like, did you understand, comprehend the law that I was telling you? It's not about my template, it's about the
Mhm.
laws.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit. So your conditional acceptance, we're about to,
Mhm.
wrap this up. We'll take a few questions and things, take like 5 or 6 questions, we'll see. But so you do have the conditional
Yeah,
acceptance
so we
class
just
right now,
wrapped up.
right?
So it was a 2-day course, but it was split out in 2 weeks because, of course, I wanted to. It has written assignments, a quiz, a final exam, a post-course evaluation. I just want to make sure you get it. And, for me, I am teaching the way that I learn. So I had to do the academy route and have it to where you have those quizzes. I'm holding you accountable. You have to write it. You're use it for guidance, but then send me your original. So the conditional acceptance was, um, I want to say 2.5 weeks ago. And then we just closed the class yesterday because that was the wrap up. We did the final follow up. So no more conditional acceptance. The replay is available, but the follow up is not going to be available. But basically, the reason why it's I structured the way that I do because, like I said, I'm teaching the way that I learn. So when I was in college, I like quizzes. Quizzes help me to retain what I learned, and then I also like to hear a lecture, and I also like to be able to have flashcards and stuff like that. So the academy, I am the one putting together the 15 question quizzes, the 20 question exam, the written assignment, all these things. And I'm reading through every last question because if you answer something in a ridiculous way, I'm gonna call you. Like, why did you answer like this? And or not even, I'm not even gonna say ridiculous. I just want to assess your level of knowledge and interpretation. But anyway, my next class and my last class until June is starting on April the 6th. And this is a 5-day class. And we starting from the beginning because since I had this experience with these dealerships because of my freaking score and no credit history, no accounts, I'm like, oh, no, no, no. I got to go to the basic. So in the 5-day class, I'm teaching how to read your credit report, how to respond to charge off and collection accounts. Because in truth, your credit report is a bank statement as well. So when you're looking at your credit report, think about it. Your social security card is a credit card, right? So everything that's showing up on your bank statement or your credit report is everything that you swiped your credit card. So I'm going to teach you how to read your bank statement that they call a credit report. And we're going to talk about how to read it, how to identify all the negative things that are hurting your score. And then we're going to get paid for everything that we swiped our credit card for. So your bank statement, your credit report is a bank statement. I can't find a law that says that. This is my interpretation. But as 1602, the definition P of a credit card is what? License plate, your social, anything that you guys can go look up the law. I don't know about heart, but I know it's 1602 P. And so when I'm looking at my credit report, it's a bank statement to me. So we need to know how to read our bank statement. We need to know how to dispute. We need to also know when something is in dispute, it is uncollectible. So if you're asking someone or a creditor, hey, I just want to make sure that I owe this debt, they can't be sending you those statements until they verify. And I'm not talking about an EOSCA verification. I'm talking about go interview my family, go interview my friends. I need a handwritten statement and witnesses. that prove to me that you conducted a real interview. Don't send my stuff through no eOscar system. Don't do it. So the 5 day, we're going through all of that. The last day of class, we're going to talk about how to start a credit repair or a credit monitoring business if you want, because you can learn this. You can learn this information and put yourself in a position to start a credit monitoring business where you say, hey, I'll charge you, $20. I can read your report because I learned how to read your report. If you trust me, I can help you identify what you need to focus on or whatever. So we'll talk about how to actually formulate a credit monitoring business. And I say credit monitoring because credit repair, you're not fixing nothing. So we're just going to monitor and we're going to basically audit. So it's credit auditing. That's what we're doing. And that'll be the next 5 days starting next week. It's full. It is a full class. I only allowed 25 because it's not about the dollar. It's not about the number. It's about making sure you get what you need and make sure I can give you everything that I can give you. So that's the last class for now. The replay might be available. I asked the students if they're okay with sharing it. But I will post a schedule in 2 weeks of some classes that I pre-recorded. So I've been like pre-recording stuff because I wanted to build a YouTube channel. So I have a whole bunch of pre-recorded videos that need to be posted. And they're like 10 minutes. What's personal information? What's the charge off? How to get if you got a charge off, where's the 1099-C? I need to be able to write this off. So I have some 10-minute pre-recorded videos that I'm going to share. I don't have a date, but it's going to be within 2 weeks after the class. But of course, I'll post the schedule for, upcoming classes because I think it's important. I think it's important that we surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. And I think it's important that you're held accountable. You say you want freedom? Cool, let's run it. You want freedom? All right, well, talk your talk and let's walk the walk. So that's kind of my approach. So look out for my YouTube. I'm going to be posting these little videos. I'm not tech savvy until I got into this little, this industry, I guess you want to call it. And now I'm learning how to make reels. My sister taught me 2 weeks ago how to make reels.
Okay.
And I'm learning. The academy is easy though, to pretty much run because it's just super great. I did a whole bunch of tutorials and I did a training on how to be a professor and like run the academy. So I spent a month and a half learning that platform and how to really support the students and stuff like that. So it's legit. But other than that, I got your back. And I'm not out here playing with these people. I'm not playing with y'all. If you hit me up and you really want, to walk this walk, I'm going to rock with you, in the best capacity that I can. So the YouTube portion is going to give me the best platform to kind of get this out in an easier way. But all my videos are finished. Everything has been pre-recorded. I just need to upload it and make some edits, like those little, those big words that come across with the background and stuff. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll be ready. I have a photographer coming on the 2nd, and we're going to take pictures. And once the pictures are done, I'll post all these videos. So
Yes, I'm so excited. Y'all don't even know. Okay, like seriously, it's like sometimes even your mentor takes value in having a mentor, because people are passionate about certain things. Everybody's passionate about the same things. Yes, it's good to know a lot of things, but what are you truly passionate about? And that was like one of the first questions I asked when we had our strategy session. And I'm like, well,
right.
What do you want to offer? People, what do you want to bring out? What something around that, like what is your passion? And it was like,
Yeah.
She had to really think like, wait, normally like we know certain things, like, yeah, I know I like to do this, or I know I like to do this, but it's like, okay, now what are you willing to share with people? That's completely different, because that's a piece of you. So when you're, getting yourself in a certain position or your place, because sometimes we don't necessarily even have an idea like we're going to be in this certain position. Sometimes we're legit just through our journeys and experiences, we're put onto this position, because legit the earth or the sun, they're revolving, things are moving. So as above, so below. So even though physically, we may be in a certain position or a certain place, that's not technically where we are, honestly, in the whole point of the universe. So oftentimes we're not going to know like this is where we're going to be led to, or this is going to be our assignment, because if it's essentially, those who are aligned and walking in their purpose, we do get different assignments throughout our experiences. So I asked her that, and then it was just like, I kid you no, I kid you not, like, oh, when I say like, if action taker was a person or a woman, or a man, it was the woman, Zaina B, Dominique, whatever you know her as. That's that's her, because it was like whoop, like the everything just came out, and it was just like, okay, like when you honestly, that's inspirational and motivational, because not just because, okay, she's pregnant, many people feel as if it's some sort of like, I don't know, like it holds you back, or it makes you some form of disabled, or all of a sudden, you're, because you're pregnant, you're disabled type of stuff. That's how many of the women are viewed. And it was on some like, I continue to see evolvement just all around. I was just like, wow, when awesome. So it's like, it also, I love these consultations or strategy sessions, or just building with people in general, because a lot of times you'll catch things after, the fact. And you're like, dang, hold on. That wasn't just really a strategy session for her. It was also a strategy session for me. That's why I said I'm a reflection, because that right there proved to me a lot. Like, if you want change, and I think that's something that I said also in the consultation. I was like, if you want change,
Yeah.
you have to do a change. You have to do that first change. And it was just that. So that's why I'm very excited to hear these things. Immediately I
Mm-hmm.
saw, the brand. And that's what we need. People are in need of this. Don't You got to think of yourself like a loaf of bread. You go to Publix or Walmart, wherever you shop, Whole Foods, you're going to
Right.
see a whole aisle of bread. Like, legit, it's a bunch of wheat bread. You'll have a few little here and there, but now everybody wants wheat or multigrain, or whatever it may be, but it doesn't matter. It's still bread. Like, it's still bread. So it's like, you have to think of yourself like a loaf of bread. Don't ever think like, oh, everybody's doing this, or no, because everybody can't do it how you do it. All of those breads in that aisle will not taste the same. I promise you. Like, I love bread, okay? Of carbs, they won't taste the same. Okay. So that's how you have to think of yourself and look at yourself when you are getting into certain positions, into certain businesses, or whatever it is, partnerships. It's like, okay,
Right.
well, what am I bringing? What am I willing to share? What pieces of me am I really willing to give? So that's amazing. That's exciting. I definitely look forward. Hopefully, she does decide to share the recordings. Because the thing with the recordings is you will not have actual access to her. Like, if you do in her classes, this is one thing. Like, if there's 25 people, she will answer the questions of 25 people 25 times, things like that
Right.
with large classes, because you'll be there for 7 hours or some shit on a one day. And, having multiple days and going through a multiple, series, it does take some time, energy. And again, you're getting a whole piece of her, like, legit, that she's not getting back. So many of you are asking, like, if she's going to sell it. Hopefully she does. Hopefully she does get send the replay. But aside from all of that, is really and truly do your part. She drops a lot already. She drops a lot of information. It's a lot of information of hers going out around there. Take advantage of that, and really, like, come through, like come and represent for yourself, and at the same time represent for those who
Right.
have came and shared knowledge. Like she came and she bigged up two different, companies or groups, and without shame. It is what it is. Like, yes, I got this from this, I got this from that. And it's just like,
Mm,
that's a part of building. How can you build yourself if you don't have tools? And our tools, in a
yeah.
sense, are people that, we can use. And it's like, it may not sound right, because you're like, oh, I don't want to be a user, I'm not a user. But at the same time, you
Yeah.
have to be honest. And if you cannot use
Mm,
me, I am
that's
useless to you. If I use you,
right.
you are useless to me. Around that type of energy. Like, we should be able to use each other, if anything, to where, okay, well, yeah, I got this game, but oh shoot, you got that game
Yeah.
too? Okay. So
Yeah.
that more value to
So true.
so we just have to keep that in mind. And okay, so do you have the conditional
Yeah,
acceptance
it is
replay
available. The
available for
replay is
people?
available.
Okay,
And then so you
okay, cool.
it
So
the
she has
both. So if you
y'all.
wanted to do like the bundle, I just put them together. The templates and the replay, there is an option for that. Just to save, because the replay I think is 69, and then the bundle is 111. So you can do both for 150 if you wanted both. But yeah, it's available on my website and also in my bio on Instagram in the link tree. So you have access either way. But yeah, the conditional acceptance replay is available. And I honestly think that, after one or two videos and you just watch that same video like multiple times, you will be fine. The conditional acceptance route, I will never take another route. Like, I won't go another way. So if you can just comprehend what the conditional acceptance is, you're good. You got all the sauce, and you can conditionally accept anything. And if they don't honor your conditional acceptance, there's so many statutes that support you when there is a presence of dishonor of something that you've conditionally accepted. And what I love about the conditional acceptance is you are verbally stating that you agree. You're saying that you agree. You're making a public statement that you agree. So if it ever boiled down to the point where you have to go to court, the judge is going to look at that paperwork and be like, wait, y'all on the same team. They agree with you. So where's the dispute? There is no dispute. And the judge can only adjudicate between people that are arguing, minors that want to fight. We not fighting no more. We are bougie. Like, we are walking different, talking different. We are bosses, and we're acting like bosses. So I'm not going to disagree with you. I agree. We're going to, run it because we're in a contract together. So that means we're both obligated to this contract. So let's look out for each other. And in doing so, I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna make sure this debt is covered. But in return, let me just check the paperwork real quick. You know what I mean? You're both in this contract. So you have bilateral contracts, trilateral contracts. You just let them know, like, hey, fam, I don't want to ruin our relationship. I love, Capital One for trusting me. We're in this agreement together. But for tax purposes and personal reasons, let me just make sure that the document is still the same and that we still have the original instruments. That's all. I'm going to pay it, though. But I just want to make sure, that our accounting, just in case we get audited, just want to make sure that we still have the original instruments. That's all you're doing. And if they don't want to show you that, you're like, why are you not showing me something that I'm obligated to pay? Like, you're not even showing me my obligation. And the Freedom of Information Act says that I can ask for this information. So now I'm going to question you because you're supposed to be my homie. We're in a contract together. We're supposed to be partners. And you acting shady. Yes.
We have a relationship.
And don't you dare let me find out that you sold our contract agreement to a debt collector. Don't you dare let me find out that you violated me and didn't get my agreement or my consent to release our contract. Oh my God. Like, no. So the conditional acceptance, it's not like, no insult to anybody's intelligence, y'all, but just use common sense, okay? Common sense. Me and you in a relationship. So if you going out there spending money, I need to know. So, if IRS calls me or whatever, I can say, oh yeah, I know he spent $2,500 on the TV, or oh, I know that we bought a business box truck. Like, I know this. So that's the only thing you're doing with the conditional acceptance. You're just making sure that the bookkeeping is right. You making sure that, the alleged debt is still the one that you're supposed to be paying on, because holder in due course, UCC 3-503, holder in due course. Only the person that's holding the original instrument can collect. So if you in a contract agreement and you paying on some fraudulent alleged debt, that's your ass too. So yes, you're checking on the accounting. You're protecting yourself. So now you go to court. You have all this evidence that you asked for X, Y, and Z. You have evidence that they played you. Evidence that they sent you a copy of everything you didn't ask for. So now you have evidence, and then you have evidence that you sent them a notice of default, and then you have evidence that they still, did not cure. So now you go to the judge. You're like, look, I thought that we were in a relationship. I thought that this was my homie. I thought that we were on the same team. I agreed to make sure that this obligated debt, this alleged debt, is going to be taken care of. But look how they playing me. Look at my evidence. And then this is the nature of the company, because I went on their website and Google reviews. And in Google reviews, I saw that they do this to everybody. So it's not just me. So you can just run it like that. Conditional acceptance. Bam. And there's nothing else to talk about. And I just won a case with Capital One. So I'm speaking from experience. Not telling me I know.
Listen, so people were saying, some of them took, not people, but there was this one comment I saw that they sent, I believe, a notice or one of these letters or templates, and they didn't get a remedy. So they're going for their second one. Yeah, sometimes, y'all, we're going to have to do that. And that's what we don't like to do. It's like we really have become so conditioned to be a microwave. Put something in the microwave, and a minute after it's good to go. And that's how that translates into our lifestyle. That translates into our process of anything that we're doing or cooking up.
Instant gratification.
It is going. Yeah, that instant gratification. It's like sometimes it is going to take for us to apply that second, letter, because now we have to think of it like, oh, that's the game y'all want. Y'all don't want to respond to me. I'm asking a question, and at least I'm letting y'all know, like, you could give me a remedy. I don't gotta take it to this route. But if y'all want me this route, and y'all don't want to, because y'all don't want to give me my remedy, then cool, let me go. Y'all don't want to give my remedy? Cool. Let's go this route. Let's go. I'll let you know the route that we're going or whatnot. So when she taught that conditional acceptance, that also did help. It just little by little it starts to put a lot of clarity, as to like, okay, when they say who we are, and it's just like, yes, it's about the law, but at the same time, it's not about that. Like, it's about you asserting yourself and you knowing what's there to help you. So sometimes if you do have to send a letter another time because they didn't receive it, and I don't want to say, oh, maybe you didn't send it to the right person, the right department, but that's ability too. And it's, as long as you're keeping track of what you're sending, you're not dishonorable.
Right.
You're moving honorable. They weren't clear as to who I should send, a question, a dispute, is that I'm sending an acceptance. So if they weren't, clear, because that's another thing that you can use. I mean, well, it says here, that I can send any questions, concerns, whatever it is, to this department. So aside from that, is you may have to do the administrative process, which I believe you will be talking about some other time, like, or something like that. Okay. So you will have to do the administrative process. And then I'm not gonna lie to a lot of these things, you're probably not gonna want to do. Like, you're probably not gonna want to do. But one thing that I've heard is that you have to do what you need to do so you can do what you want to do. You may not, want to do certain things, but you're going to need to do certain things in order to really. You want to be on the boats? I love being on the boat. You want traveling? I love traveling. But right now you kind of have to be in a certain position so you don't have to worry about, dang, can I do this, can I not, or am I leaving money on the table, am I leaving relief on the table, am I leaving freedom, could just for
That,
some
oh
little
yes,
quick instant
right.
gratification.
Bigger. Yeah, it's so much bigger.
you know Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead. We have a few questions. It's going to take about three. All right, I don't know if you're able to see. Oh wait, right before I get into the questions, so I'm also launching my website. So I'm launching my website. I have Baymore Graphics. I got to speak to you about something too that I saw and I just
Okay.
realized, and she pointed it out to me, and I think it's. But anywho, that was the sidebar. But yeah, so I have A8 strategy being birthed.
Right.
That's my baby, my own. Been used to carrying and expanding other businesses to where I didn't have anything on my own, my own baby, to where no
Mm-hmm.
one can take that from me. You know, I'm launching that, and it's pretty much just I'm doing business strategy sessions, real estate strategy sessions, investing strategy sessions. I have dope people coming along too, some crypto geniuses coming along too. I'm putting together certain little plays with crypto and life insurance. I'm putting together a few things, and even with the whole vegan and health, I'm also bringing that, because that's also wealth. We have to keep that in as entrepreneurs, or we have family we're dealing with. Health
Yeah.
oftentimes is like the last thing or we prioritize. So I'm bringing that to life, and I'm going to be doing consultations or strategy sessions. And I give thanks for those who have before I launched done consultations and strategy sessions with me. I loved each and every one. I'm learning from each and every one. I'm just going to get better. And I do have my first course that I'm dropping, and I call it course because this is really like a journey, a course. You're taking a course to to a
Mm-hmm.
destination, or something like a ship. you know if you look up the definition of course, that's around the lines that it is. So instead of calling it a class, I'm calling it a course, and it's pretty much lawful money, living and living. And lawful money is something that is very big to us, especially those who, yes, we've learned consumer laws, yes, we've learned trust. And that's when this comes in play, because you are the master of yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
you for self on money. And when we're dealing with these corporations, they put limitations, or they put restrictions, or they put or they feel like they can come and send us 1099
Right.
Ks, about what we're doing. Every little, cent, where every coin is going to. So with that being said, that's very important for a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs and business, owners, or people that still, work and been working for a while, to have somebody come and try to
Mm-hmm.
monitor your, because in all essence, we're
Mm-hmm.
still minors. So because minors, they need to have someone looking after
Mm-hmm.
us, looking after our allowance, in a sense, controlling every bit. So I do have the class coming up. It's April 18th, Lawful Living, which is pretty much going to give you an insight on banking. And that's something many of us need, because we never had to be scrutinized, if we're getting more than $600. But now it's like, okay, we're getting scrutinized if we're getting $600 or more. So that's another thing, that's another power that we need to have, aside from knowing these consumer laws, knowing how to, knowing process, knowing these systems. You also
Mm-hmm.
have to protect that side of things, you know
I'm excited
I can't wait,
too.
I'm excited. But yeah, let's.
And I'm gonna just piggyback off of
Thank
that,
you,
and then we
thank
can get
you.
the questions. But the strategy session again that I was able to have with Queen Ali changed my world in a matter of 24 hours. I was so confused and I didn't know what direction to go, because just a plethora of different things. And talking to her, it was like my whole puzzle came together. Like all the pieces to the puzzle were strode everywhere. In my strategy session with her, I put my puzzle together, and when we got off the call, I was able to look at my puzzle put completely together. And there's like, again, it's invaluable. There's not anything in this world that I can give to her to really show my gratitude, because it was what I needed. It was like that bridge. My sister is in these comments too, because I was telling everybody after that, I'm like, you guys, y'all sitting on these dreams and y'all sitting on these ideas. I'm I'm telling you, you need to book a call with her. And she hadn't launched yet. So, I was like, I don't know, but y'all need to be on the lookout. So everyone that's on this call, like if you have something that's just sitting here, or you're just like in between, you ready to make a transition, do something different, y'all, that I'm telling you, she's truly called to do what it is that strategy, triple H strategy. Like that is her calling, that is her thing. Because in truth, had I not had that call, I don't know where I would be right now in terms of expressing myself, a whole bunch of different things that I won't, touch on here, but it's well worth it. And I'm telling you, it could be $300 million and it still does not, like that.
Like I said, don't turn into 900 or Billy.
Yes,
Around,
I'm telling you.
around. Like, all on you. So I give thanks. Like, and people are seeing it. People are noticing, and that's like, I'm like, I was legit like, I show my partner all the time. I'm like, oh, look what she did. Ooh, and never about taking
Right.
taking ownership about, oh, yeah. No, because I could have dropped a bunch of game, but if you didn't go and play, it was like, oh, okay, it's nothing. It's really still on you, and that's what we forget. We forget that
Yes.
because again, we become so conditioned of society
Yes.
that we forget about how lovely the process.
Mm-hmm. So I'm so thankful for you.
I I give thanks for you, and I give thanks for
Yeah.
everybody who has joined us tonight. My has been beautiful, has been a blessing, and I hope you guys got clarity, and some form of mental wealth, to where now when you go back into these books, when you go back writing these letters, you kind of not have a
Mm-hmm.
clear direction as to go about it. And even if it's something to where you take her class, that conditional acceptance, that will also open up your eyes to what we've been saying, as far as like, y'all, honestly, you have the power, and it's all about being honorable. Y'all, like, the webinar is amazing because she speaks to our mind first. Like, she makes our minds open up to receive. Something isn't as easy for many of us to comprehend, because this isn't the language that we speak every day. We don't these. We don't know that there's that words are
Right.
actually sentences. No, we don't know. So with her webinar, that was one of the things that I commended her, appreciated, because once she opened our mind, and she does this in such a unique way, because she does affirmations, and I know that whatever comes after I am
Mm-hmm.
is the action, it's that. So she started us with affirmations, which meant that it already opened our minds on some like psychology tip. How did you do that? You opened our minds to where, like, okay, now when we're listening to this, to her speak, and how she's saying certain things, and you're taking all these notes, and it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, I get it. I now then you're gonna face, once the webinar is over, it's shut off, or you could have it on, then you gotta have to come and face yourself, because now you come and write these letters and assert yourself. So it's like, you have to keep your mind open as well, even during that time, because by that time maybe our mind has closed again. So when that happens, we'll get doubt, self-doubt, like, dang, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, should I do this, should I do that? And it's just like, listen, as long as you have the basics, she gives us like a map. She will give you, in a sense, like a map. Now, of course, in maps you have different directions, but it's still gonna take you to to a point, that you're looking to go to. So some people may have taken this route, another person may take, so another man or woman took this route, and then it's like, okay, but I still got to that destination that I needed to get to. So it didn't even matter. And yes, sometimes it is going to take more than one letter, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
sending it to a different department, you know
Mm-hmm.
department, having to do what you have to do, and I know she's going to speak on that. And I believe, Queen Dawn, there's a few people that are going to speak on it. But again, it's like a million people can speak on things, and it's like it only takes one real, one someone to help you resonate like different. It's like, hey, you can hear things multiple ways, but it's going to be a specific, way that you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to understand this. So all right, so let me go ahead. Let's see. So of course you can say, whether you're going to answer this or you're going to answer at a
Yeah.
later time. It's all up to you. But I'm gonna just select a few randoms. All right, so this is a good one. How do you remove all our information
So
from
you would just contact
LexisNexis?
LexisNexis directly and let them know what you would like to have removed. And then, even with that being said, you want to also freeze your information. So you want to contact LexisNexis. Literally, it's not rocket science, y'all. It's just common sense. You just let them know these addresses, these names have I'm not associated with them. So you are basically correlating names and addresses that have nothing to do with me, with my reputation, which is also fried. You're connecting me with someone that's not me, or an address that's not me. So you want to send them a message directly, and then you want them to freeze your information. Don't share my shit. I'm telling you what's put on here. Freeze. So don't share my information with anyone. And if I find out that you do, I have evidence that I asked you not to. And then we're going to have a different problem, because everything is injury. Because identification numbers with the experience, I had to go back and just do the whole credit thing because of the experience. But anyway, the identification numbers that automatically attach you to old stuff, that's their way of saying, all right, this is too much. Let's find an easier route to confirm this information. We're not really going to conduct no real interviews. So let's just give everybody identification number. Let's run it through the system. If the numbers match, it's a match. Nah, fam. Like, it's not a match. So you let them know in writing, what it is. And you let them know, this is not, I don't live here. This is not my name. And that nature. And then get them to freeze it. They need to freeze your stuff. Stop selling your stuff. Every time someone runs your credit or do an application, they get paid, because they're literally, what's that saying? The easiest way to make money is to find a solution, right? So, these big businesses and banks got tired of contacting all your references, calling past employees, doing actual interviews. So they partnered with the LexisNexis, these third-party furnishers, and was like, look, we don't have the time or the people to be interviewing everybody on their reference sheet. We asked them for it, but we're really not going to use them numbers on them people, because they really might be lying. It could be them. So can you just kind of run it for us? And so they're in partnership, and don't let them play you. So write them a letter. Everything is just writing. Let them.
And
Yeah.
they are a corporation. They are regulated, possibly even insured. You don't know. So yeah, people are saying that they have tried to get reports from LexisNexis and some other ones, and they weren't, sending them their reports. And I think there is a law that says, like, it should be easy
Yeah.
for you to obtain, these reports or something. Like, that's a lawsuit building up.
Yeah.
Honestly, you got to send them notices and keep track of
Yeah.
everything that you're doing.
Thought I had that law written down, but I don't. This is something else. But yeah, keep track. And that's it. You're just building a case every single time, because, if you have to take it to that big boy step, you have evidence. So keep track of everything, and just know you're above them.
All right, the next one we have is,
Uh-huh.
did you, and thank you, because yeah, definitely. Did you file suit on
No,
Capital
I
One, or
filed on
you were the
them.
defendant?
I discharged my auto
Okay.
loan, but to me, I'm like, yes, I don't want, I don't have to pay this car note anymore. But as I began to learn more, I'm like, dang, they swiped my credit card for that full amount though. So my finance charge is the sum of all charges, but the amount financed is on my receipt, which is the contract. The amount is how much you pulled out of my bank account. So now you're telling me that this is what I owe, but this is what the sum of all cost is. But anyway, for me, I was like, I'm just grateful that I don't have an auto loan. That's that's a win. But as I began to learn more, I'm like, y'all need to refund me for the amount financed. You swipe my card, let me get that full refund. So I did start, contacting Capital One again. They gave me a lot of resistance, a lot, and I was requesting, sent them an invoice, with my violations and what I wanted. But what I was really going for is a full refund for the amount financed on my contract. But and then they called, it was a whole bunch of different things. But ultimately, my remedy, my win, I'm being refunded for every payment that I ever made. So, they did call to settle outside of court. They did do all these different things to, try to play me. I'm asking you to refund me for every payment that I ever made. And you want to settle for this amount? That doesn't benefit me, So they will try to swindle you. They will invalue you. Like, we are valuable. So I filed them. I mailed. I had to have a trail though. So I started by sending my letters, and every time they responded with what they responded with, make a copy, put it in my file. All right, you just helping me. You're making this easier for me. You're making it easier. So in Capital One, they have terrible reviews on the BB. Like, oh, they're trash. I didn't even know. So anyway, no, I filed. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, another thing that I've realized is like if we're dealing with a certain corporation, we there we have to, in a sense, switch our hats and operate as a business, and they have a file for us, so we also should keep a file for them, and even if we have to create our own, let's say a registered mail that we use, and that's like the registered mail that we're using for this certain corporation, meaning that in every file you'll put, that register, that initial one that that you sent over, and it's just like, all right, you name it whatever you want to name it, and you create a file for everybody, because that has reached me where I've sent letters to people and I didn't keep track, you know doing so much of always I'm always doing something, and I didn't keep track, and then it's just like, dang, I gotta start the process over. So it's like my mom always would say, if you do it once, you don't gotta do it twice. So when and do it the correct way,
Right.
you don't gotta do it twice. So it's like, again, it's not about a right and wrong thing. It's just you have to switch out your hats, as thinking of yourself as some sort of victim, even though, yeah, you low key are. But it's like, okay, you cannot be on national TV crying like Will Smith. You have to, like, man up or woman up, and we really have to treat this as a business that we're doing. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Alrighty. So we got like two more questions. Did you go to court to get a remedy? And okay, well, you already let us know. And if so, if it was small claims, um, okay. So this one, does all of that come from being in proper status, or is it trust standpoint?
I don't really understand that question. Proper status. When I decided on who I was and I remembered who I was, that was my proper status. When I realized that, I'm the boss, that's me correcting my status. If you're talking about proper status as far as, forget that other stuff like, secured party creditor and the birth certificate, I never did any of that. I don't know anything about it. I have a trust, but I don't have any, my trust is, it wasn't related to that loan. So proper status, I'm in my proper status because I know I'm a child of God. So that's my answer to you. If that, I don't know if that answers your question.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. That's what they were asking is because I have another question on here in the same kind of similar things. Do we need to get out from our social security number? And it's like to do this process,
Yeah,
no, because that's what you're
yeah,
using.
yeah. I don't know.
That's the
That's not
vehicle.
my experience, but I can't speak to it at all. Maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. I don't know.
Someone asked, can you repeat the dates for the classes that
They're
you have coming
full.
up?
So that's yeah, the class is on
Oh, okay.
August the 6th, but it's already like at the 25 people.
Okay. So she may not do the replay. She may just have to do another session
Yeah,
for you all. If obviously how her spirit
yeah.
feels and baby and all of that. But um yeah, that's another thing. Like with her, take advantage of what she offers because she's one of the few people that I've seen that doesn't try to like get rich off of people. So and again, there's nothing wrong. There's no shade to anybody. Do what you do. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like with her, that's something that I have noticed that is more so like, okay, yeah, you're gonna give me some donation because you're,
Yeah,
you're paying for convenience. It's not even about my time because
right.
you really can't afford my time,
Right.
and I'm being very humble, but you are, paying for the convenience of all of this
Hmm.
and her experience. So, all right, so that's pretty much, the questions that we had. You guys can reach out to her as far as like the templates that she has and her class, the conditional acceptance class. It's amazing. You guys will definitely love it if you are new to this. The way that she breaks this down, obviously you're still gonna have to do your own studies, but this is one of the classes that if you're a beginner, I would definitely recommend because the way that she breaks down and she opens up your mind to accept and receive, and then you do what you got to do with it. And then she has other things coming about as well. Stay tuned. Of course, you guys will, the baby will be here, so that's a whole nother blessing. And you but I don't want to say remedy. That's a whole pretty much like gift. That's another gift. And that's why she glows how she glows. She does what she does because
Thank
she's
you.
legit carrying more life. You know? And she can definitely share that with you all. So we give thanks. Again, you can go on my page. I will have my website up for the lawful money class and my strategy consultations. I can look forward to
I,
strategizing with you all and building with you all. I want to see a lot of millions, billion-dollar companies, like businesses,
that's
people,
what you build.
trusts,
I'm
all of
sorry,
that.
that's what you do. Like I can attest to it. I'm telling you. But I did want to close with this.
I got.
If you don't mind, I wrote some affirmations for us together. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know if people
get
can
it.
like turn on their I forget what it's called, like if you can unmute yourself. I don't know if it's like Zoom, but if you can't unmute yourself, we can say these together. I can't hear you, but let's say them together. I'll say it first and then you repeat after me. And I kind of hope you can see this, but I'll say it first and then repeat after me. And we just gonna set these intentions and we're gonna move forward. So the first affirmation says, I am a money magnet. The second affirmation, I love myself. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am the CEO of my life. I am a motherfucking millionaire. Financial freedom awaits me. Facts. These corporations can't fuck with me. I'm the boss. I run the show. Unlearning and relearning is easy for me. Generational curses and debt end with me. My entire family is free. And I can't hear you anymore.
Oh no, I had muted myself because I was super excited because I knew it was coming. This is what I
Now
mean.
let's
She
go get
opens
our
your
remedy.
mind,
Point blank
y'all.
period. We're not playing. So we send these intentions. We about to get this remedy. We're the boss. We run the show. Let's act like it.
So that's one thing that I've definitely started to do is when I'm writing these letters, like before I even get to that, I open my mind. I envision these things, actually happening, going through. And even if they don't, I'm ready, for the next round. And it is what it is. So we give
Mm-hmm.
thanks. We
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
Hi.
Thank you for everything, the platform, your energy. I just adore you and I love you and I'm grateful. So thank you.
I love you too. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. Have a great night. I'll see y'all next Monday, another Mindful Monday. Let's see who we're gonna have. And we look forward to everything that you have, your expansion, and everything that you're sharing with us. Thank you for sharing your life with us, your experiences with us, and giving people hope because a lot of us we don't get that. We don't get that, or we don't get to build with people that have similar types of intentions or
Right.
that genuine spirit.
Thank
So thanks. Um, oh, and y'all, baby, church take some donations as well. So if anything, y'all can definitely donate on that. And it's just gonna be multiplied, y'all. Like that's one way that we have to start to see things is if that dollar, which I'm gonna
I'm
speak
excited.
about, lawful money, but anywho, that that's they print that all day, every day. Okay, they print that. So if you give it, you're gonna get it. That's how I see it. The only reason you're able to give is because you're receiving. So, do what you gotta do and just move
All
honorably.
right, good
So peace
night.
and love.